Welcome back to Alabama Live. Time now for Ask the Attorney segment. Personal injury attorney Stewart Vance joins us from the Vance Law Firm, as he does every week, to answer your legal questions. We appreciate you being here. As always, join us. Always good to have you on.
Good to see you, Judd.
Talk about, for folks who are not familiar with your services, you guys cover all kinds of cases.
We do. Our main focus is injury law, and that's when anyone is injured to either a slight degree, a severe degree, or even a death. We help those claims when it's not caused by themselves. So anytime it's not your fault, something happens. Most people think about car wrecks, truck wrecks, on-the-job injuries, premises liability, slip and fall, elder care abuse, those type cases, really anything involving an injury, severe or minor, to someone, and it wasn't their fault.
If you have a question, call us up. The number is 334-420-9732. What are some of the common mistakes people might make if they don't contact an attorney?
Waiting too long, Judd. That is the number one, not calling soon enough. Even if they call, there's a 2-year statute. We talk about it often here. But even if they wait a couple of months before calling, a lot of things can go really already working against you. I'm thinking about 18-wheeler cases are the ones that come to mind, especially, or a case involving someone being killed because the family, understandably, they've got a lot of things going on to take care of with the estate. But someone in that family should reach out to us or someone and ask some questions, get some things started that are going to benefit the family and the estate and the survivors later on. Because I can promise you that truck, let's say we're talking about 18-wheeler,
right,
is already being put back on the road, and we want to stop that. And so we have to be involved, or we've got to get some legal letters to them and some orders sometimes from the court saying, hey, don't put that truck back into operation. Yeah. We got to do some. We got to get it inspected. We got to find out what really happened, and that's usually the biggest thing, waiting too long.
We have a few callers on the line. We have Daniela and Ricky. Daniela, we're going to start with you in Montgomery. Go ahead with your question now for Stewart.
Yes, I was calling to find out, as far as rent, what is considered a reasonable amount for late fees?
There's not really a reasonable amount for late fees. It's usually laid out in the contract, either the lease agreement, the rental agreement, something that probably says that. Alabama does not have a law right now that I'm aware of setting that out, because a lot of times the fees are too high, in my opinion, and sometimes that gets folks in trouble when they can't afford to keep making those late fees when they keep compounding. So there's not really a reasonable one, but that's a good argument if you have another claim. Reasonableness is what our law is based on. Now, it doesn't seem that way sometimes when fees get out of hand, but check the agreement and look in there. And if you need to talk to an attorney, that's not an area we practice in, but the Alabama State Bar has lawyers for all sorts of things. So call them. It's 269-1515 right here in Montgomery. They can get you an attorney that handles those type claims. If you find some, or if you don't find that kind of language in the agreement, that may be something you should talk to a lawyer about.
Those contracts can sometimes be a pain. That's pages and pages, but how important is it, as much of a pain it is, to make sure you read the fine print and know what you're signing?
Yes, before you sign anything. Alabama, years ago, the law of fraud, meaning if you didn't read, or if you hadn't read it, you weren't necessarily held to that. If a rep or some sort from the company told you something different. That's not the case now. They could tell you completely the opposite of what that contract says. If you sign that contract, you're going to be held strictly to what that contract says. So yeah, you're right. Always read the fine print, or get somebody that can help you read that to make sure you understand it.
Might not be fun, but make sure we could save you a lot of money in the long run reading those details. Let's go to Ricky, who is in Wetumpka this morning. Ricky, thanks for your call. Go ahead.
Yes, where I live at, I think we got discrimination because they're telling us we got to move stuff and stuff. What can we do about it?
Discrimination cases are tough because that's a federally determined what classifies who can be discriminated against by the law. I don't mean that on what's reasonable, but the law lays out, federal law lays out what areas. It's usually dealing with race, religion, those type things that someone can be discriminated against. So first, you'd probably need to talk to a lawyer that deals with discrimination cases. That's not an area my firm practices in every day. And as I say often, always get an expert in the field that you need a lawyer for. So if it's like this, if it's that area of law, you need to talk to someone that deals with discrimination day in, day out. I always give out the bar, Alabama State Bar's phone number, because they have a lawyer referral service that they can get you to lawyers that do that kind of work. Clearly, you can go online and do a search and find those out. But what I have found, Judd, and this is a side, we're just taking it a left turn, a lot of times when you Google lawyer search, you don't get, I hope everybody knows, the top few things that pop up are not necessarily what you're looking for.
Almost got me a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
Trying to cancel a subscription service.
Well, it's crazy. We found out you could type in the Vance Law Firm, looking for us, and some other law firms may pop up. We have to buy our own name every day. It's crazy. So so be careful. But if you're looking for discrimination lawyers and you Google that, be cautious. That might not be who the first couple names pop up. They're not the experts in that field. So again, that's why I give out the State Bar. But I hope that gives you at least some direction, Ricky, to get to where you need to be to find out who can help you with that.
Good luck to you, Ricky.